week 4 of the Mole Sisters with Elise and
Michaela. We're two sisters born with moles on our faces, and each week we discuss women in art and music history.
this week we are discussing pianist and composer Clara Schumann.
Yes. Okay. So Clara Schumann, I knew a little bit about her from like music history classes and stuff like that, but there are just details that were left out, and it was very interesting studying her this week. So anyway, Clara was born Clara Wieck was her last name. She was born in 1819 in Leipzig, Germany. Her mother, Marianne, was an accomplished singer. And then her father, Friedrich, was an abusive music teacher and piano store owner.
Abusive. This is in his biography?
He was a piece of shit. Basically, everything I found about him is just that this man sucked. So, despite being a piece of shit, though, he was like a very highly regarded piano teacher,
No, yeah,
naturally,
whatever.
because he's a man. And like, unfortunately, I will add that a lot of really, really great music teachers are fucking assholes. And it's because they're just like, they demand perfection, and it makes really good musicians, but it also makes very traumatized musicians that hate playing their instrument. So,
Damn.
you win some and you lose some. But
Didn't you have a teacher
anyway.
like that actually?
Oh, yeah, I
Um,
did have a shout out.
Shout out, what was his name? Oren? What was
Oh yeah, Warren Frederick. I was thinking about our high school teacher. No.
Oh, yeah, totally forgot.
Well, I mean,
Jill.
but Jill didn't make me hate music. I really liked music when I was with her. She just was very,
She was a
her
fucking
style was,
bitch.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Orrin Frederick, he wasn't like an asshole per se. He just wasn't a good teacher. So, well, I guess he was kind of an asshole. And you can't really be an asshole and not a good teacher. Like you got to have one, good quality too, yeah.
You're right.
But anyway, there'll be more on the father shortly, like specifics of things that were seen. Well, a thing that was seen. But anyway, so her parents got divorced actually when she was young because her mother had an affair with one of Friedrich's friends. Okay,
Ooh,
Marianne. Okay,
living
but
her best life.
yeah, well, when they did get divorced though, she had to give up custody of Clara
Oh,
because of the time. Like it was just, oh,
ugh.
she had an affair. She's mentally unstable.
Oh, but not the abusive father. Okay.
Yeah, not the abusive father. No, because he was a highly regarded individual in the community.
Ugh,
So,
whatever.
yeah. So yeah, he was an abusive asshole, but he did successfully push his daughter into becoming a child prodigy. So,
Eh. You win
you
some, you
know,
lose some.
sucks. She lived a good life after that. It just sucked for
Yeah.
the first,
It was
18
it
years
was
of her life.
character development.
Yeah, that poor girl though. God damn. So when she was 14 though, she premiered her own piano concerto with Felix Mendelssohn
Damn.
conducting. So you've heard of Mendelssohn, right?
No.
Oh girl, what the fuck? Okay. Well, Mendelssohn is only one of the like most well-known composers in the classical music world, but okay. You would maybe no, now I'm of course blanking on everything. I'm like the only thing I can think of right now is the violin concerto. Hold on 1 second because this is
I'm sure I would
important.
recognize the music. I just don't know his name.
Like the Wedding March. He
Okay.
wrote a Midsummer Night's Dream. Yeah. Yeah. There's a ton of stuff that he's written. But anyway, so when she was 14, he was the conductor of
Okay.
her concerto, which is very impressive because he was
Yeah.
famous at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was for basically her entire life, but starting at the age of 18, she was one of the leading virtuosos in Europe.
Ooh,
So in this time,
girl.
like it's just crazy in the 1800s to be like popping off and
Yeah.
highly respected as a woman is crazy. So she just had this very high standard of excellence for herself, and overall it was insane how much people just kind of were like, yeah, okay girl, go off. Like she got a teaching
Uh-huh.
position later on in her career just because of her prominence and like women
Damn.
were not given those jobs, but she was because
Yeah.
she was so yeah. So, anyway, she's a
She was
very
kind of a nepo baby, but she owned up to it, you know?
yeah, well, and, like, I mean, she was abused, so, like, she
Yeah.
deserved the credit, she
Mhm.
got the credit for what she went through. So, she met her this is where it gets a little interesting, but hear me out. So she met her future husband, who's also a very famous composer. You might have heard of him, Robert Schumann, when he came to study with her father in 1830. So he heard Clara playing piano when she was just 9 years old. Mind
Eh,
you, he was 18. And he stopped studying law to study music with her father. So
Damn.
I don't think it was anything like nefarious at that time. I'm like projecting entirely, but like, it'll unfold later. But they did live like a very happy life for the most part together. They loved each other, had
Mhm.
a bazillion children. So like, I don't think it was a creepy thing of him being like 18, falling in love with a 9-year-old. I think he was just so amazed by her playing and really was like maybe fascinated by that and wanted to be taught by the person that taught her.
Uh,
That's what I'm choosing to
we'll
believe
give him
because
the benefit of the doubt.
he was like, there's nothing that I saw anywhere that puts him in a negative light at all.
Well, of course, he's
So,
also a man.
yes, but they talk about her father being a piece of shit. So,
Yeah, I guess. Okay. Okay. Okay, you're on something here.
yes, yeah. So, there was one time though, so Robert visited the family home, Clara's family home, and wrote about the experience. And he said that Friedrich, father, was screaming at his 9-year-old son who was practicing violin, saying, "You wretch, you scoundrel, is this the way you try to please your father?" And he was naturally quite horrified by this. So,
Oh.
um, yeah, he was a piece of shit. Like just beating down a little kid. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I taught 9-year-olds, and the thought of telling a 9-year-old calling a 9-year-old a wretch and a scoundrel,
I know.
insults at that time were crazy, but,
Yeah.
I it no, like, you tell them, "You're doing great, sweetie. You're doing let's try it this way." Like, come on. What the hell?
Yeah, no.
Um
They're doing their best, okay?
Yeah, yeah. So, for some reason, we had know the day the first kiss happened between the couple, presumably like probably diary entries because they both
Oh.
were pretty active with the diaries. So they first kissed in 1835. Clara was 16 and Robert was 25.
Oh.
Just, yeah.
Ew. Eh.
It was a different time. It was okay.
What an interesting thing for historians to look into and document.
Their first kiss was talking they literally had the month too, I think it was May of
Oh
1835,
my
like,
god.
it's probably because Robert went home and was like, "I kissed Clara for the first time, it feels like a forbidden love because she's 16
Well,
years old
yeah.
and I'm 25." Anyway, so,
Ugh.
yeah, a cute little moment between them. But anyway, they did get married 5 years later when Clara was either she had just turned 21 or it was shortly before she turned 21. It was in 1840. Her father was like fiercely opposed to this. He
No.
really tried to rip apart their relationship the whole way, which kind of understandable given the fact that he is 9 years older and
Mhm.
she was young. But like, love is love, dude. Like, what are we? Come on.
Okay.
They
This is
they kissed?
also from the perspective of that era. Now? No, definitely not.
No. No, no, yeah, to be clear, if a 25-year-old kissed a 16-year-old, they need to go to jail.
Yes.
But, this was a very different time. I don't know. I feel, like, really horrible justifying this, but,
Mhm.
like, really, there's nothing in here that's like, "She was groomed." Like, whatever. No, she was just happily married to Robert Schumann.
Okay.
So, anyway, she became Clara Schumann in 1840. Actually, in an earlier episode, you had mentioned how like famous women are referred to by their first name.
Mhm.
And in this case, I know Clara is referred to by her first name because Robert was also a famous composer.
Mm.
But often, even now, if you say this was composed by Schumann, people will ask you to specify Clara or
Okay.
Robert. So they were both very well known in both in composition and performance. Well, no, not so much in performance for Robert, but yeah, she was a very well-known individual.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Pop
so
off, queen.
yeah, yes. In this is just kind of an interesting side note. So there was some like uprising in 1849, and it was something about like the king not accepting some new constitution that was proposed
Mhm.
naturally. Like I think they were trying to make it some sort like a constitutional monarchy or something, and he was like not publicly admitting that he backed this.
Okay.
So it caused these like revolutionaries to stand up and fight, and it lasted for a whole 7 days. Not to laugh at because people did die, like, there was, like, 200
Oh.
revolutionaries that died and I think 30 soldiers or something, um, but anyway, the revolutionaries were going door to door to force men to join the fight, and Clara initially lied and told, the guards that Robert wasn't home,
Mhm.
but then she knew that that wasn't gonna stand, so she fled in the night, with her husband, Robert, and their eldest daughter. They left the other 3 kids there, though, in order to not look suspicious that, like, that they had
Oh
deserted,
my
you know?
god.
Yeah, I don't really know how old the kids were, I don't have those details are fuzzy, but, they came back, she was fine, like, possibly saved Robert's life in doing that, but she was also 7 months pregnant at the time.
That's crazy. You know what?
Yeah.
If there was something like that going on here, I wouldn't even leave my cats behind. Like, how can
Yeah.
you leave
I
your
know.
children?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I really think it was just like a because if she left with all of them and then they came back once everything was done and we're like, "Oh, hey," like, they would not be very well respected
Yeah.
in their community. So, I think it was just to keep up appearances. I understand both ways.
Yes. No, because also, like, is it his decision that he's fleeing from this? Because then that's kind of an ick.
Well, I think no, it was definitely her. She led this.
Okay.
And because she seems to have been, like, the pants in the relationship pretty much the whole time.
Can relate.
Yeah. Yes. It's just hilarious with her being 9 months no, no, not 9 months, 9 years younger than him to be like,
Yeah.
"'Okay, we're leaving."
Get your bag,
Um,
get your water bottle, let's go.
"We're leaving those 3. We don't like them that much
Yeah,
anyway."
pack your snacks.
Yeah, so then moving forward, so she wrote a few songs and piano pieces in the early years of their marriage, but really, really popped off when they moved to Dusseldorf in 1850. Okay, Dusseldorf. Sorry to all the Germans that are very obviously listening to us because we have so many German listeners. So they moved to Dusseldorf in 1853, where she composed several major works. Some of those more well known pieces include variations on a theme of Robert Schumann and 6 songs. Very aptly named. It
Okay.
had 6 songs in it. So,
Oh.
yeah. So, in the midst of composing, she was raising 8 children,
Oh
which,
my
yeah,
god.
which is why I'm like, homegirl must have liked Robert, you know? Like, they had 8 kids together anyway,
Oh my god,
uh,
though. I can't even imagine.
yeah, hell no. 4 of those kids did die before she did, though,
Oh.
which is sad. I like, not all of them in childbirth, some of them actually died while they were giving birth to children, like, it
Oh.
was in childbirth for them, so,
Yeah.
yeah, and she, like, took care of still, like, kept the house and stuff like that. But here's the unique thing for this time period, she was the primary breadwinner for the family.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So she toured and gave concerts throughout most of her life, which obviously very much so unheard of for women.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just okay, I'm gonna go on a little side tangent here. There's a book about Nannerl Bach. Is that her name? God, now I'm gonna sound stupid. Anyway, Bach's sister, who historians believed, or not Bach. Who am I talking? What? Nannerl Mozart. That's who I meant,
Oh,
not
yes,
Bach.
yes. Yeah.
Okay. Gosh, now I'm messing up my dead white guys. This is embarrassing.
Get
So
your head in the game,
Mozart
okay?
so sorry. Mozart's sister, historians believe was quite possibly as talented as him.
Mhm.
Like she was a child prodigy and toured with Mozart when they were younger, but then she like came of age and it was no longer visually appealing to see a woman on the stage. So it was
No.
like as soon as she
I feel
started
like it's
growing
more
boobs, they're
visually
like,
appealing, but
yeah, I mean, come on. Like a woman slaying on the piano? Fuck.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, people seem to have come around to that by the time Clara Schumann was a child, but
Okay.
just not even that long before, less than a century earlier was when Mozart's sister was just kind of left in the dust because of him. And well, and they like stopped teaching her at a certain point. Like just there's so much missed potential with that. So it
Ugh.
just makes me really sad. But I just love hearing that like Clara totally broke that mold and was
Yeah.
just amazing. She set the tone for a lot of things. So she also completely changed the standards of performance. So she was the first person to start performing concertos and stuff memorized. So
Oh.
that set the standard of expectation of playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
Okay.
crazy that a
Yeah.
woman did that. Yeah. So, of course a woman did that.
Mhm.
So she would perform like full recitals and stuff fully from memory,
Crazy. Got the men shaking in their boots.
right? And like I always respect the hell out of anyone that does that. I can do it for like a piece or two. I just have such a hard time personally with memorizing pieces. I don't know. It just isn't like a strong suit of mine. And so I respect the hell out of
Yeah.
anyone
Well,
who
it's
does that.
I have never tried, but I'm sure it's
Yeah.
fucking hard.
Well, it's a next level of virtuosity, really, is what it
Yeah.
is. And unfortunately, I'm not gifted to that degree.
Mhm.
I can perform things memorized, but I don't know. Takes me a lot more time than I think most
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, you would have to practice so long over the same exact
Yes.
things just to
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. But Clara was, she music just was kind of her second language, if not her first.
Mhm.
And so it's just that was how it was for her. So
Yeah.
anyway, she was also a really good improviser. So she would improvise a lot at her
Mm.
performances. So she during her performances, she would promote contemporary composers of the time. And a lot of the time it was her husband's works.
Okay.
And then also Brahms later on.
Mm.
So, Johannes Brahms.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so there's more on that because there's Brahms and Clara are very closely connected.
Okay.
So lesser known works by Bach and Scarlatti were also performed by her regularly. So I don't know, she just brought back the oldies.
Yeah.
So over time, she also gave 238 concerts with Joseph Joachim, who was a very famous violinist, and he's still very highly regarded today.
Mhm.
They became really popular for their performances of Beethoven's violin sonatas.
Okay.
So I remember learning some of Joachim's cadenzas and different solos I've played. So he's still very well known in
Yeah.
the violin world, at least.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, this is where things take kind of a tragic turn for the love between Robert and Clara.
Aw.
So, in 1854, Robert suffered a mental collapse. He had struggled with mental illness for years. He heard voices, strange music,
Ooh, yeah.
visions of angels turned into
Oh
nightmares.
my
And
god.
he heard the note A drone in his head for hours, which that sounds horrible, but also low key that happens to me as a music teacher. I understand how that would drive any person crazy.
Yeah.
But he also like definitely probably had, like a schizoaffective disorder or
Mhm.
something, um, that just wasn't treated at that
Yeah.
time. He still is, they're still working on different treatment for that.
Mhm.
So, unfortunately, his sanity was gone after that incident.
Aw.
Oh, I didn't even say what the incident was. So he jumped from a bridge into the River Rhine, and a fisherman rescued him. So yeah, then it was after that he did not have
Oh my
his
goodness. So he
sanity.
just had,
Yeah.
like, a psychotic episode and just
Mhm. Yeah.
oh, those are
So
so
he was
scary.
mhm. He was placed in an asylum or a sanatorium or whatever they were called at the time, and Clara was not allowed to visit him
Oh,
until he was near death. So I think it was mostly to the doctor wouldn't let her see him just to protect her. And but
motherfucker.
yeah, so I'll talk about it too with Brahms, but Brahms would visit him a lot too and
Mhm.
like relay the information, and other family and stuff would visit him. I don't know exactly why. There's probably more out there on why exactly she was barred from seeing him, but he did have moments of clarity, but then he would just be back
Oh.
into
Wait,
the
how
poor
old was
mental
he at
state.
this point?
It was 1854. That's a great question. Let's see if I can do the math quickly. 1854. Well, he died at 40, so it was 43 or 43 or 44
Oh,
was when this happened. Yeah. And so, yeah, he was after the asylum, he died 2.5 years after that, after he was put in.
damn.
So she did not compose very much in the time after he died, and ended up leaving us with just 23 published works. So, yeah. There's more though. So his life ended in tragedy, but they composed a work together titled Love Spring. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the German version of that title, so Love Spring it is. So she is quoted as saying, "Composing gives me great pleasure. There is nothing that surpasses the joy of creation, if only because through it one wins houses of self forgetfulness. When one lives in a world of sound." Sorry, that was weird reading, but she loved composing music.
Yeah.
So, to lighten it up a little bit, Clara was also kind of a savage. So, she didn't really hold back when she didn't like what other people were doing. And she really knocked some of the most well known composers in that time down like 12 pegs. So, um, and it was all the men, of course. So, She this is some of the stuff she wrote about Wagner. You know who Wagner is?
No.
Okay, well, okay. Gosh, I hope these listeners that we have so many of,
Hey, you have
really
your
know
expertise, I have mine, okay?
That's fair.
Stop judging. Like,
I am a little
actually,
bit. I'm just a little bit judging, but it's okay. So
rude.
Wagner, he wrote like the Ring Cycle, which is a very famous like opera cycle. It goes on for days. It's crazy. And he was really known for his operas. He was also a racist piece of shit and like
Mm,
also anti-Semitic and all that stuff. But Hitler loved Wagner.
yeah,
Wagner loved him. So they're both in hell together.
yeah.
So anyway, what she wrote about some of Wagner's work, she said, "It's the most repugnant thing I have ever seen or heard in all my life."
Oh my god.
And she said, and then another quote for something else of his, she said, "Wagner went through the whole gamut of abomination."
Ugh, I love that. Ugh.
You should know this guy, Liszt, the
Oh,
piano
yeah.
composer.
Mhm.
Yeah. So she wrote about him saying he has the decline of the piano on his conscience.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then the last guy that got fucked in the roast battle, that was Clara Schumann. Hector Berlioz, who you might know, I don't know. He
I
wrote
don't think
Symphony
so.
Fantastique. So Symphony Fantastique is his most famous work, I would say. And he wrote that one. He was like obsessed with some woman. It was like unrequited love. And the symphony comes out of a drug-induced like daymare, basically. Like it's a whole thing.
Okay.
He was on opiates when he wrote that piece, basically,
Ooh.
and it shows. But it's it's a great work. It's standard, and it's a standard piece that is performed regularly. But um I shouldn't say standard, because it's a special thing when it's performed, because it's such a big work. But anyway, he stopped by the Schumann house, and after his visit, she wrote, "He was unwell. Nevertheless, he could have behaved in a more friendly and sincere manner if his soul were truly inspired by art."
Damn. You know what?
Yeah.
It's like those like I think I see him on TikTok, and it's like things to say to men at work. Just being
Hmm.
like, "Oh, does somebody need a nap?"
That's basically what she was doing to these men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love
It
that.
sounds, yeah. So, back to Brahms. So Brahms and Clara's relationship. So this is a whole thing. There's a lot of speculation around it that there was like a love triangle between Brahms, Robert, and Clara. They were all very like close friends, all of that.
Hmm.
And Brahms and Clara were friends until the end of Clara's life. So he yeah, or rather, she was a big part of his because I'll get into it. So he looked up to Clara and Robert as two of his greatest music mentors, and
Hmm.
they really, really they saw potential in him. And very early in his career, Robert wrote about him, and it like blew him into popularity, like whatever, blasted him
Hmm.
into the popular music realm of that time. So they're the reason that Brahms became as well known as he is.
Ah.
And they just saw art in him and saw his nature. And I think to be accepted by Robert Schumann and Clara Schumann is the
Yeah,
highest compliment.
you're
Yeah.
in the elite.
Yeah. Because if she's shitting on Liszt
Yeah.
and Wagner. Apparently, I'm sure he's kind of a wackadoodle, but anyway, I love her. So they were introduced through Joseph Joachim, the violinist that
Hmm.
Clara toured with. And that was when Brahms was 20 and Clara was 35. He fell in love with her pretty much immediately. So the common theme with Brahms is that he fell in love with everyone that looked at him
Oh,
and never married.
did he just get
This
rejected so many times, or what?
I don't know if it was rejected or if he just never made a move. It was just kinda like he'd fall in love with these women and, like,
Oh.
pine over them and then never do anything about it. But if you look up a picture of him, he was kinda like a baddie when he was a lit
Okay,
so,
let me look him up. Let me
you know,
get
he had
my
potential, and he just seemed like he was just a sweet little guy.
Yeah, he's not
So,
bad. Oh,
yeah, he
never
was
mind, I do see a picture.
well, when he's older, yeah,
Okay.
but when he's, like, a younger him wasn't bad. No. So when Robert was moved to the asylum, he wrote Clara a set of variations on a theme by Robert as like a way to comfort her,
Oh.
which is the most like I love you way or like thing ever to compose a fucking piece for someone. Be so
Yeah.
for real. So it's actually that piece is one of his most tragic compositions. Like
Oh.
it just the sound of it is
Yeah.
it comes out in that. So Brahms also fell in love with Clara's oldest daughter, Julie, but he never
Okay.
yeah,
Doing too much now.
yeah.
Calm down.
Calm yourself, boy. He never did anything about it, and she ended up marrying an Italian count. But then she died in childbirth, which
Oh.
was sad. And so then Clara and Brahms, they remained long-term friends. Also, Clara, for a long time, handled all of Brahms's investments and was very good at it, like made him a
Oh.
lot of money. And when later on, when his like agent or whatever started handling it, his finances didn't do as well. So
Damn.
he was just like,
She was
yeah,
like a woman of many talents.
yeah, yeah.
Because finances to me, you say the word and I immediately am like dead.
Yeah, no, my butthole clenches up and I want to curl up in a hole and die.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, never.
No. So she was just the strongest woman. I don't know. She overcame so much and was
Hmm.
so accomplished on her in her own right. And I don't know, and she was respected by men.
Yeah.
And so she was 76 years old when she passed away after having a stroke. And
Mm.
then Brahms died less than a year later of pancreatic cancer. And I guess probably a broken heart too. Like he was
Oh.
just sad that his really close, they were close friends until
Yeah.
they died. I mean,
Oh.
because there were rumors throughout their life that there was an affair,
Yeah.
because it would have been a scandal for her to be with Brahms when her husband was still alive. But whatever. We don't know for sure. There is a diary entry. I don't have it written down, but that she wrote that's possibly incriminating, basically saying what she loves about Brahms.
Oh.
But that could also just be in a friend way. Like you never
Yeah.
know. Because
Yeah.
also 15 years younger. Like she probably looked at him like a little boy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I can see
But
that.
maybe she was a cougar. I mean, she did like the older man though. She had Robert, but
I don't
I
know.
guess who
Maybe.
knows? Time. Maybe we need to like perform a séance. So, it is
Yeah.
Halloween,
Hey, Clara,
so
just
we
just
could
tell us the tea.
be like, "Did you love him in a love way?
Okay,
Did
Clara,
you
Clara,
love?"
did you fuck Brahms? We're just curious. And then you can go back to Eternal Peace.
Yes. Also, how did you feel about Brahms loving your daughter?
We should actually have a guest on our podcast. We just like summon somebody, you know?
Yes. Be like, hey guys. So this is Clara Schumann. If you listen really closely, you'll hear her say, "We fucked."
You'll hear her say, "Pumpkin." Sorry, that's just been my stim this week. Well, is there anything else to mention about Clara Schumann?
Schumann. Now
Schumann.
there is not Schumann. I think you did this last week
I
too.
did. I did. You made fun of me then too.
No, there's not. She died at 76
Okay.
after building a legacy. So
Yes. Love
yeah,
her.
she was a queen.
Yes, she was.
Thank you for listening to week 4 of the Mole Sisters. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, or Spotify.
And tune in next week. I'm going to be talking about a painter, Leonora Carrington. 3, 2, 1. Bye.